The Army promised to train me as an intelligence officer, but first I had to attend boot camp. It was 4 months at a fort in Georgia in the dead of winter, running obstacle courses and playing war games in the woods. Not my idea of fun. Everyone in boot camp, except me, had at least some military experience or training, like ROTC in college. I was the guy with 2 Ivy League degrees who didn't even know the basic rules on saluting. So the lower ranking man initiates the salute and the higher ranking man returns it. Right. My first day on the firing range, I said to this old master sergeant, "Sergeant, I have never fired a weapon like this one, much less clean one." He gave me this sort of faint smile and said something like, "Well then, sir, I will teach you." I knew he was having a bit of fun with me. I didn't mind it because I really needed the help. We had classes in things like using the military alphabet on the radio, because sound quality on field radios can be pretty bad. So a Viet Cong is not a VC. What's that? VC? V6? What? No. He's a Victor Charlie. We also learned things like how to administer first aid on the battlefield and how to call in artillery without having it land on top of you. A key goal of boot camp is to engender a fighting spirit, basically aggression and bravado. On a machismo scale of 1 to 10, I probably rated about a 5. But I wasn't as squeamish about bodily things as some guys. We had this class on how to survive a nerve gas attack. Instructor explained we would be given these little devices, spring-loaded with an antidote in them. Hold it against your thigh, press a button, and you get the injection right through your pants leg. Then they started handing out the devices. Instructor said they would contain needles but no antidotes because they were just for practice. There would be a countdown from 10 to 0, and at 0 we'd all press our buttons at the same time. At about the count of 5, guys all over the auditorium were starting to faint. I've never been particularly needle shy, so I just went along with it. Get to 0, press the button, and of course, nothing happened because there were no needles in the devices. It obviously would have made no sense for us to be sticking dirty needles in our thighs just for practice. But I fell for it just like the rest of them. My evenings at boot camp, I spent reading manuals, whereas a lot of my colleagues were reading comic books, I kid you not, playing poker, and dipping into the local flesh pots of the nearby town. I was worried about Vietnam, and I figured I might as well learn as much as possible. It puzzled me then, and I still wonder to this day why more guys didn't take that attitude. So yeah, boot camp at Fort Benning was authentic for its day. Now with the all-volunteer Army, things have changed. And the very term boot camp has become slang for a lot of different things. My own personal favorite boot camp, it was the legendary gay leather bar by that name in San Francisco. Unfortunately, it lost its liquor license for allowing too much sex in the bar. Danged. That boot camp smelled of spilled beer, tobacco, and cheap aftershave that made me kind of nostalgic for some of those Army officers clubs I had known. And it was more my kind of fun than real boot camp.